and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go.
Okay. All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my lagging ass show. Don't know why it's doing that, but it is what it is. One day I'll update it. It's coming soon, by the way. Welcome to the Earnhardt Experience, episode 8. Unfortunately, my original guest is not here, but God willing, seen it so. The gods have seen it so. I got a special treat for y'all today, a hidden gem, a diamond among the rough, Sir Quentin Murray. Appreciate you on the show, Quentin.
How you doing, brother?
Bro, I gotta say, I didn't know anything about you, and I quickly had to do my homework on you, and I found out a lot of good things, and I'm just scratching my head like, do you have any sponsors or anything?
No, not really. Really, other than Facebook, man, I'm not really big on the social media thing. You know, I've been around pulling for like
What?
going on 10 years now. You know, I mean, I've been going. Never been big into the social media thing, but yeah, I'm getting known. My abilities are starting to get known.
Your abilities are starting to get around, bruh. Yeah. I got to do that myself because it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I'm for real.
It's a work in progress.
Sport, somebody, where the fuck are y'all at? Because this guy, and I've you know, again for the second episode, thankfully. My last episode, I had a rank puller. You're a rank puller as well. And you, sir, on the armfighter.coms in the 231 plus class, you're a top 10 puller. You're ranked number 9, left-handed. Yep. Facts. And that is a reputable site. Now, I will say the weights that they do are IFA weights. They're not WAF weights.
Well, I don't know if it's updated yet, but on the in the hook rankings, I should be at rank 6 on the in the hook rankings, 242 pounds.
Gotcha.
I don't know if they've updated.
I will say I know of that in the hook rankings, but wasn't that created by like Chance Shaw and somebody else?
Yeah, that's Chance Shaw's rankings. That's really the most relevant one I go off of is the in the hook ranking.
Really? You should have met my last guest. He hates Florida. And I can kind of, because of my experience with the politics and what have you in the arm wrestling community, I can kind of relate to the guy because he's an ex-Florida guy who moved to Texas. His name's Michael Bedwell, the Disturbed one. And I had him and his wife on my previous episode. And I got to say, it was a wonderful episode, all in all. But you, sir, oh, before I forget, and damn, I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I forgot to shout out to my fans, my true fans and subscribers, and my haters. Love you. Oh, yeah. And again, want to thank you for coming on to the show because Mama would be proud of you. I did see that your brother, are you older than Landon or younger?
I'm older than Landon. He's my youngest brother.
So you're okay. So you're big brother.
Yeah.
I noticed he was an honorable mention on the right arm, and also I did catch an episode of the Arm Wrestling Buzz Show where LeRae and Landon both were on that show with Paul Italia, and Paul Italia said, you know, he would sponsor basically your little brother because of some of the information that he learned, you know, having him on the show and everything.
LeRae kind of organized a little call out of Auden, and you know, the most deserving person, the match that makes sense to me and that most people like in the community would want to see would be Landon and Auden. So like, why not call him out? Then Paul Italia put up $2,500, and then Landon went to the group chat, and he didn't even have to say nothing. The group had already raised like $5,000. You know what I mean? In a pot. And
wow,
got that, and I think it was a spot at Knuckles Up, a slot at Knuckles Up, and they just ignored it basically. Devin put out a little video. He put out a little video saying something to Paul like it was Paul's fault. Like, man, that was all random. Didn't nobody plan that, you know. But it would be the match to see would be Landon and Auden. It would make sense, you know. But that ain't gonna happen because again of the social media and trying to be known and stuff, you know. Like,
yeah. I mean, come on.
You know, planning in that field.
You're messing with the top 2%, buddy.
Yeah,
these are the ones who are arm wrestlers, but also in power. You know, and of course he's protected by his father. You know,
but they're not going to give Auden a match. A killer like Landon, they're not going to give that match. They're going to sit.
No. I mean, because you know, if you know your history with America and Canada, it's kind of like
yeah, we're representing them.
I don't know, maybe
it's different. It's a different energy when you're representing something.
Oh yeah.
But,
yeah. What would have to happen in that situation is Landon would probably have to get in good, you might as well say, with a one of the guys' crew at the Knuckles Up or somebody who would have to push the point, you know, and make it an issue. Oh my God! Here we go. Appreciate the comments here, wise man. Yeah, 2 bums my ass. Appreciate that comment too. You're gonna find out here in this interview that you just hating David Kotlow. What the fuck, bro? I thought we were better than that. You'll have to excuse the wise man. He likes to stir shit.
You're good.
But I bet you one thing, if he's doing AW6, he may keep you in mind with some of his Texas boys that he's in good with, like, Keating? Was it Michael Keating? Who's a big name in Texas.
It sounds familiar.
Because he was, yeah, I was sponsored April 1st of this year by David Kotlow. And I was less than 2 years into the sport. Paid flight, hotel accommodations, and I had a right and left-handed match. And I was at that show and seeing some of these, you know, like Ryan Carter's another big name in Texas as well. He's supposedly the number 1 right-handed guy in the 220 class.
Wasn't there?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Tucker Keating. Yes, Tucker Keating. Yes.
Wasn't there? There was
a
promoter. There was a guy from Texas. I can't exactly remember his name. But he was on that podcast Landon and LeRae was on. That Paul Italia podcast. he went on there and he offered Landon a match with somebody out there. I can't remember. But we were going to head out to Texas during that, but never happened of it, I don't think.
Yeah, there's a big. I wish I lived in Texas because there is so much going on in that state in general. To be honest, from what I know of, so. But, anyways, I want to get to your stats, bro, because like you have a hell of a resume on the AERS.com site, right? Which is where you can build your resume as us as athletes in arm wrestling.
I've not looked at that.
Bro, right-handed in the 242 plus, you were 4-2, right? And in the regular 242 class, you're 8-9. Left-handed, though, totally different story. Because right-handed, you're good, but you're not that good, right? Trying to be subtle there, not but left-handed, you're obviously left-handed dominant, and that's something we got in common, right? Left-handed 242 plus, you are undefeated, 3-0 in the 242 plus class. In the 242 regular, you're 13-4. Now, let's go deeper. This year at the Big Orange Bash, which I believe was the same place that LeRae Jenkins threw that 154 round robin in a bar, right?
No, I think that was in Knoxville it was at a Harley dealership.
Oh, it was okay, so it was different.
Yeah. I believe that was a big one. That was TN
Appreciate
State.
that comment there.
That was TN State. It may have been in a bar.
Well, I mean, on the site it says Big Orange Bash 2024. That's all I got. But so it was Tennessee State.
Big Orange Bash?
Yes. You went undefeated in this tournament that had 5 guys in it, and you beat Doug Allen, Chris Hawkins, Paul Passmore, and Robbie Russell, left-handed.
Yeah. They ain't nothing.
That's big, bro. Especially Paul Passmore. And I'm pretty sure after that, that may have been when y'all became friends, because if you know your stuff, Paul Passmore is an OG on the left arm.
He's always the real strongest guy in the room. He's always been that guy. He's hard to deal with. Yeah, that was a good win, man. That was a big moment for me, anyway. That was it really wasn't even a pin, but I'll take anything. Yeah, anything with Paul Passmore.
Yeah, I mean, if there's people out here, not even promoters, but people who actually do their homework arm wrestling wise, that's big, dude. Like, how long did you say you were in this sport? Because the last recorded on the ARSArms.com site was 2016 at a Europa tournament somewhere. But how long have you been in this sport altogether?
I think my first tournament was 2015 or 2014. I was 14 years old. I think it was 2015, and it was a team class.
How old are you?
4-1. I just turned 24.
What the fuck? I got to do that.
I've been pulling almost 10 years.
I got to do that right there because, like, bro, you started at 14 years old?
Yep.
And now you're 24. So basically 10 years you've been in the sport. We're talking to an OG right now, ladies and gentlemen. This is some hot shit. I mean, for real. Grinding. Like, you should be getting a call from Knuckles Up, because I'm going to tell you right now, we'll get to this later, but you and I both know, because I know you're friends supposedly with Paul Passmore. Georgia is getting a lot of attention on that January 25th show.
Yeah, I think we're going
and Cody Wood has a match as well.
Cody Wood came to Tennessee and dominated. Shout out to him. That was a bad dude. That was exciting to watch.
Yep. Yeah, he's I've trained and pulled with him quite a few times, and he's small, but he's good. You know, he's strong. Yeah. All right. The next point on here that I got, and mind you, ladies and gentlemen, this is the straight left-hand 242 class on the Big Orange Bash, where he went undefeated in a 5-man class, beating Robbie Russell and Paul Passmore, Doug Allen, Chris Hawkins. The next one is it was actually named Tennessee State this year. It was an open 242 with 6 men in it. You went 4-0, and you beat Robbie Russell again. And you also, you beat Robbie Russell, Mitchell Jones, Daniel Garwood, and Josh Elaton, who, by the way, shocked the world this past July, beating Paul Passmore on both arms. And now he's ranked higher, I believe, just a rank higher on the armfighter.com site, right-handed, I believe. Either right or left, one of those.
Josh Elson, yeah, he's a beast.
And Josh Elaton is a big dude. Yeah.
That win was left-handed that day.
Big dude.
That was a pretty dominant win left-handed. Right-handed that day, the man was untouchable. I think he differs a lot in his arms. But, yeah, watching him and Paul Passmore, to even compete with that guy, you're really good. You're there with him. But
yeah.
Let's see. I think it was this year. It might have been last year. I got to pull Elton in Kentucky, and I actually got a pretty easy win on him. Same tournament, I beat Scott Ballinger left-handed, went undefeated. From that point on, I went undefeated up until last weekend, left-handed. This year, I've been undefeated up until the finals of this tournament. And
gotcha.
Corey Breslin, Tim Breslin's son's the one that ended the streak. But yeah, this year was a good year, but it's mostly
I'm glad you're talking about that.
They do the old paper pencil whipping stuff, you know what I mean? So, like, it's not getting entered into errors or anything like that. It's not being tracked, I don't think, so.
I doubt that because, like, I know my experience, that's how Alabama State this year was done. And all my stats eventually, my amateur stats definitely got there first. It took some months for my pro to get there, which I got fucking smashed. But my right arm is definitely retired after November 2nd's big event. We had Alex Toprell there, so I'm on Alex Toprell's channel, you know, Schoolboys Brothers.
Yeah.
Got 37,000 people watching me getting it on with Clinton Pickering. I had a good bite hook-wise because I did have a sneaky suspicion about my right-handed opponent. I was right, but in the setup, I wasn't as aggressive as I should have been. And even Andrew Yakimovich said that afterwards. And I agree with it, but I mean, just getting that left-handed win was good enough for me. So I was just like, with my right-handed match, and ironically, I trained more right-handed for that match than my left-handed match with Mac Ruiz, who's a part of the Dragon's Den YouTube channel, co-host with Cody Wood on there and everything. You know,
it's kind of wicked
over there in Norcross.
I train hard right-handed. Like I go really hard right-handed, and I swear my left gets stronger holding the peg. That's the training for my left is holding the peg mostly. Like I don't put it through what I do my right. and my right underperforms compared to my left on a big scale.
Now, are you technically a right-hander? Like you write with your
Yeah,
right hand?
I
You
write with
throw
my
a
right.
baseball with your right hand?
Yep. Just I don't know, the odd pressure on my left is strong. I'll explain it. It's always been like that since I was 14. It's been like that.
Yeah, and I'll say from my experience, when it didn't register to me that I was a left-handed puller until after I want to say when I competed this year in February at Alabama State, and then after some practices working with Justin Bishop and the Bama boys, and this, that, and the third, it didn't register to me that I was a left-handed puller until I started banging with Scotty Holloman. Shout out to you, by the way, Scotty. No, you ain't gonna watch this, but whatever. It didn't click for me. But when you look back, performance-wise, tournament-wise, and stuff, my left hand in my first tournament legitly had a silver and a bronze medal, right? So I placed every time with my left. With my right, I did not. And the only reason why I got a second place medal was because me and Paul Italia were the only two people in that class. That's how I got it. So, I mean, it should have registered to me, but it didn't. I was retardedly just focusing on my right. But whenever I would do a practice, I would pull both arms and stuff. And yeah, I guess probably because I did have an injury like the week after my first tournament. It was a medial collateral ligament pop or what have you, very nasty. But it wasn't a serious one. I was still able to pull, but only outside. I could not supinate at all. And
thing happened. For the long time, you won't see me go to a hook either arm. It's because I usually have something similar. Like I just can't turn. I can't supinate. That's why you see me. I top roll just about everybody I pull. Like both hands. I try to stay away from the hook. I have a really good hook. I just don't use it. I don't. I think it's a lot better to just top roll because you can serve a lot more with a top roll. I've always been like that. And then left-handed.
Yeah.
I've had more super matches with my left hand. Like people's always been impressed with my left hand. So it's been through more because I pumpkin ball my arms. You know what I mean? I'll train one arm and let the other one be, you know. But this one's my left went through 3 or 4 super matches by now, and 3 or 4 cycles of it just being trained. It's gotten to a point I don't even really have to train it anymore. And slowly, I've never been a hook puller or anything like that, but slowly, used to I didn't have anything if my wrist turned in because of the elbow issue. But here recently, if it turns in, I just feel like I gained so much rotation, so much access to pronation. It's slowly changed, but I've evolved from that being a top roller and getting slowly turned into a hook, you know. But it's formed my elbow joint to not hurt like that, if that helps. But yeah, just top rolling, man, keeping it, you know, good position and really help your elbow. I'm bad for trying to use my tricep in a hook drive, and I'll get in there, man, and I'll feel my tendons starting to, you know, pop in my elbow and keep driving, and I'll regret it for the next 3 months. I won't feel strong at all. But the more I get into it, the more serious I get. I don't really touch weights. I practice pull. I try to practice pull. I don't beat myself up. And that's really getting to my joints. That's really helped my joints. For this, I came into this last tournament super, super healthy, man. Didn't have no problems. Got up there, felt great. Both arms performed good. And I'm going to say it's basically because I hadn't touched any weights. I just went to practice. Every Sunday we practice with a big group. have a bunch of different variety of pressure. That's all you need. But it will help your joints to just keep the overload off of it.
Yep. Lightweight, high reps.
Lightweight, high reps. If you do recovery work, I'll grab 40 pounds on a belt. I don't do no fancy, machine or nothing. Just grab the belt, do the old Devin Larratt, and go to bed.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't. I've seen your style. Now I want to share this real quick because this I couldn't have the music on it, so I had to silence it. But I just want the people watching to see this. This is actually your short off of YouTube, or no, sorry, TikTok.
Oh yeah. Got close to beat the number one, man. So close. 4 inches.
Yeah, I seen that, and he's kind of. You were kind of working him there.
I had his hand, man.
I mean, his face got red. Yeah.
Everybody else just wasn't even there, really. That guy, he was Russian, but he was really good. I don't know who he was, but this guy's
That's
big.
What I'm talking about.
He was the after pool king. That dude. Let's put it like that.
Oh yeah. One of those types, huh?
Yeah, he was super good, like super strong in a hook. He just couldn't get there.
Yeah. Looking at that Ryan Bellinger match, right? Do you feel like you probably shouldn't have went to the strap and probably should have just grabbed his hand as hard as you could outside of the strap, full hand chalked, and just took him to the pad?
Well, with a guy like that, he can pull with his hand back and he don't care. He's going to let it go anyway. Just don't hurt yourself. You know it's going to slip. I knew it was going to slip. He knew it was going to slip. We hit. His hand went back. It slipped hard. That's a rookie mistake, like to do that slipping hard. But I done it anyway, and I gave it a yell.
Shit. I mean,
the
I'm going to tell you right now, right?
The strap really helps my game.
And I understand where you're coming from. But at the same time, right, if I have your hand and my hand is fully chalked, right, your hand is gone and you're trying to slip or whatever, I'm hanging on for dear life and I'm going to get you to that pad. Because here's the thing, right? On previous episodes, I believe, I've talked about this. And the subject matter is how can we make arm wrestling more exciting or whatever to non-arm wrestlers or in general, right? And Paul Italia on the 98 show was mentioning what Flow Arm Combat, that, by the way, only seriously lasted like Flow Arm Combat with Brandon Morrison, them only lasted like a few months. And now Pro Gear, Mikey Oliva has taken over, right? But what they had is in their tournaments, they had a new wave thing where everything just went straight to the strap, right? And Paul Italia was saying, because of his experience on trying to sell the sport, whatever, with people who don't watch arm wrestling stuff, they would give their opinions. And he said, my problem is like, if we went straight into the strap, right, I wouldn't have beaten my opponent left-handed at the big show that I had November 2nd at Arm Wrestling Uncensored 5, right? It wouldn't have happened because after that first round, when it did go to the strap, I was like, fuck. Yeah, we got to keep them outside that strap. So I got technical, right? And I won. I came back after that first round and beat him 3-1 outside the strap. And some arm wrestlers, Mac Ruiz, I mean, he says, like, if you beat somebody outside the strap, they suck.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
If you ask Robbie
And-
Russell, Rex Forbes, Landon, they'll all tell you I'm the strongest out of strap puller there is. And I won't deny that. I will take your hand out of the strap every time. I got an ability to climb like no other person. I don't know. Everybody I pull, I can out climb. You can go back and watch what you just watched. I'm good at avoiding the strap left-handed. It don't really favor me most of the time, especially with the buckle. The way I set up and like how aggressive my start is, it don't really favor me, but I'm pretty good at avoiding that strap. I can make most people try to, chase me or catch me. It's just all about your setup. It really is. It's about positioning and
gotcha.
letting the guy have, the
I got
forward
something.
lane.
Go ahead.
It's like letting the guy have the forward lane, like giving him something but taking something at the same time. Like I've gotten pretty good at it. I can avoid the strap, but if you watch a lot of my big wins, it's out of the strap actually, left-handed. It's a lot of my wins are out of the strap.
Yeah, like what we just seen. Yeah,
and that
like
video,
more of those were out of the strap than in the strap.
Yeah, I'm really good out of the strap. Like as far as rising and stuff, I have way more access.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Do you know this troll right here? This he's a left-hander too, right? He's a left-hander.
Never heard of him.
Sir Yaktos, his real name is Andrew Yakimovich. And appreciate your comments there, Andrew Yakimovich with Who Cares and Big Deal. This cat, I'm going to tell you right now, Yak, he's Canadian too, by the way, Quentin. He's Canadian, and he's strong. Left-hander. Maybe David Kotlow, the wise man, next November, next year.
Where's he from in Canada?
Nova Scotia. So he's not really known by the Ottawa High Hookers group, Devin Larratt's territory and stuff. He has supposedly met him, but I mean, Devin meets like a shitload of people. So, I mean, that's a lot of memory right there and shit. But, yeah, who knows? Maybe Sir Yak Toast can get a little piece of this number 9 puller in the nation of America. Yeah.
Anyone can get it. Anyone that wants to come to Tennessee, I'm game. Anyone. 220.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone.
Yeah, there you go, David Kotlow. You need to sponsor this young man to the next one. Yes, sir. And see how he does against Andrew Yakimovich. How's that for a big deal there, Sir Yaktos? But anyways, all right, so I got a couple points here for us to talk about. But before that, to all my true fans and subscribers and new people watching, if you want to follow me and you're not a YouTuber or Instagrammer or maybe a TikTok, whatever, you got your choice right here. I got YouTube for me is my mainstay, but I am also on Instagram and TikTok as well. So if you want to follow me, here you go. All right. My first point here, and I've done this on the past 2 episodes, and I really like this because for me personally, this is a good thing. Has everyone done their daily checkup in the mirror? And the clip I'm fixing to play backs this up because this is really good. Has everybody been looking in that mirror to see if they still got that dog in them? For real. Got that fight in them. The eye of the tiger. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, I ain't going to lie. Yeah. See if you still got that dog in you. For real. See, and I'm a Georgia native. So, the Bulldogs, Georgia Bulldogs. I'm not a football fan, but you already know what it is. But I've seriously, after November 2nd, bro, I chilled out. I ain't do nothing. And if you follow me on my shorts, on my YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, I've learned that rest is really a key to get stronger instead of just
100%.
working my ass off.
If you go off of so my mentality with my training is like the Mike Mintzler, take it to failure and then give yourself time. That's all arm wrestling is. That's all going to practice is achieving failure at what you're wanting to train, practice to failure. You got to have time to heal, especially in a tendon sport like that. Tendons can take up to 3 months to heal if you're not supplementing right or you're not eating.
Exactly.
So yeah, rest is really big. Man, each year I take off 3 months just because. And I come back on the table stronger every time. Rest is a big factor, man. I take 3 weeks before a tournament. I take 3 weeks to rest. And I always show up feeling great. Like, I don't lose, If you go off of that Mike Mintzler theory, you're going to get stronger the more you heal. Like, the more time goes on, it's just how big is the
I believe I know exactly who you're talking about, too. This was a guy who was an ex-bodybuilder.
He's the only man
during Arnold's era.
At the Olympia, Mr. Olympia. But he's the guru for building strength, building muscle. Like, his methods work for me the best. I don't train too hard. My workouts are maybe 30 minutes long, but everything's going to the max failure, and it's quick and easy. Like, I don't do 2-3 sets. It's 1 set done. Maybe twice a day if you feel like it, but I'm not doing crazy workouts like posting crazy videos and all that. I don't do a lot of cable stuff, nothing like that. Just follow that when you're going to practice, that mentality of I'm pushing this movement to its max. I want it to be not usable at the end of practice. And you'll get stronger each practice. I come to every practice feeling better. And if I'm going really hard at practice, I'll take the whole week to heal. I don't rush back into lifting weights because you can't have it in your mind that you're going to get weaker in a week doing arm wrestling, because you're not. It's just max effort sport, max exertion. It takes time to heal the quick twitch of that,
Yeah. I've learned to listen to my body. I mean, these days now, I'm taking Epsom salt baths. I no longer do cold therapy because of the science behind it, as opposed to hot. And I haven't. The last time I was in a gym was August of last year, right? Other than that, what I've been doing at the house, rice bucket, 2 variations, this way and that way. All right. I do the band, rising and pronation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I got 2 sets of grippers. I do the Travis. This is something that I believe was that I picked. But anyways, when I do my grippers, right, I always get the S shape, and I'm doing the gripper this way, not this way, right?
Yeah.
All right. Then I do with the other set of grippers, I flip this one around and I'm working the thumb pad, basically. The thumb pad and the webbing, right? Then I have it's where you can hang it over the top hinge of the door, right? It's a pull-up set. And I do NutriGrip pull-ups like this with an art arm handle. You know what an art arm handle is, right? It's basically molded like a hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing basically my pull-ups like this with my wrist, Travis Bagent style, curled in to get that cupping. And it's a great pronator workout as well, doing it the way I do it. And then I'll set my forearm on my thigh, right? And then I'll do reverse, I guess you say curls or whatever, with a 15-pound handled dumbbell, right? And I'll do like 15 to 20 of those. All these exercises, I do 3 sets, rinse and repeat for 3 sets. I do hammer curls with a 35-pound hand dumbbell. I basically do lightweight, high reps. I do have a table with a very small pulley system on it from the EAC. Shout out to you guys. It's the standard table, very nice, from Canada or British Columbia. And I rarely touch that though, but I've touched it here and there. I follow John Brzezink's wisdom. I'm lazy, so I do my blood flow, but like after November 2nd, bro, I mean, it's been a minute, almost, if not going on a month, since I've been doing all these exercises I just told you. And I've had 2 practices so far, and I just feel strong as fuck, just like you were saying just a moment ago. Like, and finding this knowledge out subjectively for me on the rest thing was not something that was my fault. Because what it was is when I started pulling and I was going hard at it, right, as a newbie, there was a guy who was hosting practices at his house, and there would be times where he'd call off for a week, or he would call off for 2 weeks, or one time he would call off for 3 weeks because nobody's showing up or whatever. And I just paid attention enough to like, hey, seems like I'm coming back stronger, because like at the beginning, I couldn't move any of these guys off center practice pulling, right? And then I started getting stronger. I started learning. I was at this point in time, I was actually doing gym time, but only arm wrestling specific exercises, like those pull-ups with the band. I stopped doing Planet Fitness. They got a platform that you can put below you to help aid you pound wise and weight wise.
Mhm.
I stopped doing that because of what I learned on pull-ups and the science of it. Because when you do the aided pull-ups, Planet Fitness wise, you're not activating your core, and you're not, it's best to do it military style, legs straight, your chest up when you're pulling up, and everything, and just learning the science of that. So after I learned that, after some months during this time period, I stopped doing that. And I would go to an actual, where I could do neutral grip pull-ups, and I would do it that way. But I would have a band on one of my foots with my legs straight and everything, so I could still get an actual pull-up activation and everything. And my cardio was better too. Jesus Christ. Because like I remember not too long ago riding a bicycle. I remember a time period where I could go like 6+ miles on a bike. Now I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I go less than 2 miles to the food line just to test this exercise out, and I about died coming home.
I feel you. I tried to go on a hike the other day, man. It wasn't happening. It wasn't happening. Cardio's too rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I used to do the rice bucket. I used to do the grippers, stuff like that. It's good to do every once in a while, maybe in 3-month increments. But I found if I get to training my hand or doing a lot of like hand work, I get a lot of arthritis starts acting up. You know what I mean? Especially when I get to pulling, my knuckles will be hurting and stuff. And I know it's just keeping those extensors and stuff tore up and then trying to max them out at a practice or test them is what you're doing. You're testing them and tearing them, you know? I've had a lot of problems out of my hands, but yeah, I don't really do much. I mean, I feel like once you get, it's like the muscle memory in your hand just gets strong with workouts like that. You're only going to need three months worth of that training, you know, if you're preparing for a match. But
yeah,
I found
so what
the more I try to train
what is
hard,
your go ahead.
the more I try to train hard leading up to a match is the worse I do. That's been my experience. I'll go in and say it'll be one ready go slip and then instant beginner pains in my arm. Whole arm shuts down, won't work. I gotta have the rest period. I found that over time. Dude, I used to train every day, every single day. When I was in high school, we practiced every day. I would ride the bus home with my friends and we practiced every day. And I never got stronger. Never got any stronger. Stayed in the same place. Getting used to
I
your
believe
body.
I believe your mother told me a little bit about that before the show.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we used to ride the bus home with each other every day.
She actually gave me a heart on one of my posts with Paul Passmore for my next episode, and I just hit her up telling her thank you for that, along with a few other people. And come to find out, that's your mother and Landon's mother.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's friendly. She'll tell you about it. She's proud of it. For a
She should
woman,
be. I would be if you were my son and you were ranked top 10 in the nation of the United States. My God, we'd be throwing fucking parties, man.
oh, there's been some.
And also, more so, promotion wise, we would be beating down some doors. Like, we would be calling up Grip Arm Sport. We'd be calling up fucking Knuckles Up. We'd be talking to some promoters, because, like, one thing I've learned first with Cody Wood, right? And Cody Wood has been a big name in the sport, even when I first met him, and he on a flash, right? I was trying to get out of a practice that I already had set up in Columbus, Georgia, but I didn't want to go to that one for certain reasons, right? Because, like, whenever I practice pull, I'm not an ego puller like them, I guess maybe certain people, or Louisiana. Oops, sorry. But I like to do John Berzink's, static pulling and stuff. I don't like to flat. I like to let them work, if especially if they're stronger than me, in this, that, and the third. So, because I actually got injured in a practice, as I stated earlier, on my right arm, and that shit was scary. But but what is really not really confused me, but kind of gets me angry, is like guys like you, Cody Wood or whatever, y'all are like top nationally ranked top 10 pullers, and y'all don't have fucking sponsors. But somebody like Paul Italia, who's a top fucking G, can get Grip Arm Sport to make fucking t-shirts after him, and this, that, and a third.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I guess if you're looking, you'll find them. I mean, I've had offers, but it just never happens. Nobody ever, means it, or that's just been my experience with sponsors. Yeah. I've had offers,
And you want to know what's funny about Paul Italia? Just a quick thing, right? He was promoter of the year during the pandemic, basically, right? Yeah. Or shortly thereafter, 2020 or 2021, right? Then he's, was recuperating from bicep tears. This answer, he's an ex-bodybuilder. He's a top G, as they call it in our society, right? Mm-hmm. Basically a made man, ultimately connected, sells medical marijuana, has a real estate business, has property that he owns in multiple states. Now he's doing a junk removal business, and he's actually left the arm wrestling community to focus on this business. And his excuses is the drama and this, that, and the third. Well, for one thing, I would argue, sir, if you're not really an arm wrestler, and he's not, he's a made man. He has options. He's not, he has taken some beatings and bicep tears on both arms and stuff, but he's quit. So it's like, but like I said, I'm like, what the fuck? This man ain't even close to being nationally ranked. But guys like you, Cody Wood, and multiple others ain't getting the call from like Grip Arm Sport or whoever in the arm wrestling community, sponsor wise or whatever. And it just is like, wow.
I think from
See,
a promoter standpoint,
and people wonder why. People wonder why you have personalities like Devin Laird or whatever. Now, here's the thing, though. I would argue not like Devin Laird, but like me, right? Or somebody who's on the lower level making noise, right? The reason is because it's only the squeaky wheels, as Rebecca Todd said not too long ago on a live with her husband, Monster Michael Todd, right? You got to make noise in this sport. And you, just like Paul Passmore, are not like those social media guys making noises. But I can tell you right now, Paul Passmore actually befriended me. And I'm some Joe Schmo from nowhere, right? Especially in arm wrestling, right? But because of my amateur performance, left-handed, at the SEC this past July that was run by Sean Boom Hancock, Paul liked what he's seen, right? Because like Paul is a very nice, soft-spoken person, but I feel like he's caging the animal. But I told him in a personal message, bro, take me for example. I didn't necessarily make a lot of noise. I have a reputation on supposedly being a fucking racist, which is totally bullshit. And that's how, in one way, probably for the most part, as bad as that is, and it's nothing to toot your horn about, but probably why I got the sponsorship and also some efforts that I did in a tournament or so, right? Because like everything I do arm wrestling wise, I do shorts off my practices, and then I try and have footage for my tournaments. I treat my YouTube and my social media channels like a journal in a way. Something you can look back on, or like a photo book of like past memories for myself, but also for the people who actually follow me, right? Be like, hey, this point in time, he did this and that, and blah, blah, blah. That was really cool or whatever,
I
or
look
bad,
at that. I look at the whole thing as like a respect earned standpoint, Eventually, I my whole time arm wrestling, I've looked up to Paul Passmore because when he's in the room, those big mouth guys, usually get beat. But he's never been really a loudmouth about it. And I don't feel like you have to if you got the ability, And I appreciate Paul. He's a supporter. He John Therian was looking for a match. Wasn't that long ago, maybe a few months ago. He was looking for a match, and Paul put me out there. He put me on there for a left-handed match, and I looked up, John, and I was watching him, and I was like, I was honest about it. I was like, man, I think I'm too much for him, and I don't want to hear the excuses because he's so light. But yeah, he shouted me out, man. He put me out there, made them notice me, and I appreciate that. I've always respected Paul because in a room full of social media stars, he's gonna win because he's the strong guy. But he's never been loud about it. I mean, I've always went that direction. He's more, showed me how to be the strong guy. But no, I've never been loud with the social media.
Yeah.
I don't get on there much. I don't use it much. But I mean, my name will get out there eventually. It'll be out there. Same with Landon. We're getting headway. Had offers, knuckles up, stuff like that.
I mean, here's the thing. Paul Passmore's been in the sport longer than you have, and you've been in the sport fucking a decade, right? Paul Passmore is just now starting to get in some, some respect, as
if they're sending you
doing all
East
the
versus
hard work
West,
that he's done.
That's you're an accomplished arm wrestler in my eyes. If they're looking to send you to East versus West, and Paul hit that, in my eyes, he hit that. He pulled, and that's an idolized person in my eyes at this point. Finally, they gave him some recognition, but he would have been doing some damage. You know what I mean? He's always would be that guy to show up and beat everybody. That's how I'm trying to be. I'll show up and just beat you. Yeah. I won't talk about it that much, but I'll show up and do it.
Yeah. And believe me, I'm actually that kind of guy because I could have been loudmouth or whatever.
I got
or
it.
Even after a win, I was very coy and low key on my last big match in November 2nd against Clinton Pickering. I was very respectful, very coy, but because of certain facts that I found out about that match, if there is a next time, I'm gonna shit all over that dude because, I don't care now.
That's the mentality. Yeah, that's the mentality.
Yeah, because my personality is a soft-spoken, coy, whatever, and I'm a firm believer in actions speak louder than words, right? Firm believer. Mm-hmm. But I also have this side to me where I'm like Muhammad Ali was in boxing. I got a mouth, but I also got an ass to back it up with.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use my mouth because, number one, I'm American and I'm a firm believer in the First Amendment. But one thing's for sure is when you're making noise loud enough and you're showing behind it, those sponsors can't ignore you for too long. But in Paul Passmore's case, you pay your dues, you do all that time. You were on WAL, beating Corey West more than once and playing it coy. You ain't going to get realized. You ain't going to get manifested like the way you should be. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I argued in a personal conversation with Paul.
Paul Italia, he's opened me and my brother's eyes to that. Like, you're going to have to play a character. Like, if you're going to want to sell this, you're going to have to think Vince McMahon. You know what I mean? WWE. You're going to have to be a character. And
yeah,
I mean, we've both looked for it, and it's starting to show on the table. But I don't know. Having a plan is the thing. See, we just started thinking about this stuff this kind of year, this time. When all the Auden call out happened and all that. But yeah, he opened my eyes to that. Like, we definitely got to get bigger on social media. We would be a lot bigger and be getting bigger matches, is my point. But
yeah,
just haven't really thought about it like that. Haven't really thought about it till recently. But you'll see.
Yeah,
you'll see.
I'm telling you,
a lot more coming from us.
That's just how our world works these days, Because here, and this is something I've been hearing in other podcasts, arm wrestling wise. If you ain't selling yourself, nobody else will.
Exactly.
Facts. So you have to be not only an arm wrestler and you're training for arm wrestling, doing your thing physically in the sport, right? But you also have to learn to be a salesman on the social media realm. It's just how it is. Because, like, we already know Josh Bishop did a video not too long ago. I don't know if you've seen that. And we'll get to that subject in a minute. But there ain't no money in arm wrestling unless you're like John Berzink, Devin Larratt, Todd Hutchings, Monster Michael Todd, you know, that top 2% or whatever you want to call them, you know. If you
I think
ain't
about
those
the only
guys
person I can think of
who are prominent arm wrestlers, and then they have to back that up and supplement it, they have like 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. The only exception is John Berzink does not do social media. He's the only one. Everybody else in that top category does. But because of John's reputation, I mean, he's a made man. I mean, he works for a airport. You know, he's a mechanic in that area or what have you. You know, so I mean, John's good. You know, he's the top G in the. We already know that.
He never had to, you know, be big presence. He never had to be, you know, a character. He never, you know, he was that guy that showed up and messed you up.
Yeah.
I get it, man.
I mean, that's why I could understand guys like you, Paul Passmore, and guys who don't have as much of, I believe, as they should, a social media presence. But like I said, because of how our society in general, key word there, in general works, right? You got to make some noise. You got to be stirring some shit.
You got to treat it like a fight. You got to treat it like you're making purse or you're making gate at a fight, in a fight. You know, that's what, I mean, most of the promoters are wanting now. They're getting big name people with a big following to come look at arm wrestling. And if you can generate that, you'll get matches. You ain't even got to be a good puller. Just do that and you'll.
Oh, yeah. You already know. Goddamn Eddie and Wade against Auden Larratt was a fucking joke.
It's like,
you know,
you just got to be a character.
And then Larry Wheels was another joke.
Yeah. But I mean, I'll figure it out, man. We'll get there. It's coming. But I ain't no believer in it.
Oh yeah.
You know? It's just never crossed my mind I'd have to do it. But I mean, I'm going to. It's gonna be. If it's gonna make me number one in this country, I'm gonna be the biggest social media person there is. You know. But I'm on that level.
Yeah, I'd like.
That's the last step, man, is fucking being on YouTube, you know? Be a YouTuber. But
all right. So do you obviously know Cody Wood, right? So here's my next point here. Cody Wood versus Hellboy. Who wins? January 25th. And before you give your answer, I want to, it's very short. It's 5 seconds long. Yeah. Cody Wood versus Hellboy, the German who's got the abnormally large right arm. What do you think?
I gotta go with Cody. If he's quick enough, fast enough on that guy and gets him hooked, I don't think I'll have a problem. But that guy's abnormally large hand, you know, it might be a lot for a 76 to deal with. That guy's been a beast as long as I've knew about him.
Yeah.
Cody's just now getting his time to, you know, he's the number one guy. He's, in my opinion, he's the number one guy at 54. Getting his time to shine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the exception of Hunter Knobs, but now Hunter Knobs cannot make weight at 154 anymore because he's a 176 guy now. But
he ain't got to about a 76, so I'd just stay 76. If he's that strong at 76.
Oh yeah, I mean he won that round robin too. He won the 154 and the 76. I mean, come on,
No,
Hunter Knives is a beast.
dude, I love going and training with our group. Adam and Chad Silvers and all them. They got. That's why you see all them guys winning. They got the most serious crew. I don't see another crew
Oh yeah,
like
Adam
Carolina.
Warzinski, Ryan the Bull Bellinger, who I'm connected with.
Our group, me, Landon, and Dalton Bumgardner, and all them might be the closest group that grinds like they do, but we're. I don't think we're a close second. I think they do. They go a lot harder. I think they do.
Or they're on gear too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So like I've done my homework on this one. Hellboy, there's a short out there. I don't know if you've come across it on YouTube or what have you. But there was a right-handed match between Hellboy some time ago. I don't because it doesn't say how long ago because it's a short against Kevin Palco. And I know Cody Wood can flash Kevin Palco. So because of putting 1+1 together, figuratively speaking, my money also is going on Cody Wood. I think this may be a grinder though,
There's some
because
pretty
the
similar
German,
style pullers. Him and Palco. I'd say it probably look exactly the same.
yeah, I mean Kevin Palco was redlining, but he was still able to get a sticky point right here with Hellboy, and Hellboy just couldn't bring him to the pad immediately. It took a while, right? But I got to go with Cody Wood because of the fact that I know that if it was Cody Wood in that situation, Kevin Palco would have lost like that, and I know my history. I keep up with certain things in the arm wrestling community. And I think it's going to be a grinder, though. And the reason why I say that, 3-2 to Cody Wood, right, is because Hellboy has been missing for some time. He's been quiet, right? And now all of a sudden, out of the blue, we're getting Hellboy and Cody Wood. And I got to say, this is not an easy task for Cody Wood.
Nah, I'd say hooking that up with the size hand of a 76 is going to be really rough. I mean, really rough.
Yeah.
Or a 54, actually.
Yeah. So.
If you watch somebody with a similar build like Oleg, they always have your fingers. They always have your fingers. So really strong fingertips is going to decide that. I think Cody will really win. I don't see dude driving through Cody if he gets in a hook, period. If he sets a hook anywhere, I think he'll be safe. But getting that guy to a hook.
And Cody is fast. That calisthenic working out motherfucker, Jesus looking blonde haired some bitch is fast. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, the way he works.
Cody ain't nothing to play with.
No, dude. Honestly, that dude ain't on a magazine somewhere. You know what I mean? He's built different.
You seen his Facebook page, man? He's modeling now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. All right. My next point. Our guy, Paul Passmore versus Jai. Now, something should be noted about this, right? And before I start talking about it, I want to show this off real quick. But yeah, Jai was actually on a previous or so he had a previous match on Knuckles Up that was a grinder and he lost. So I don't know much about this cat. So Paul Passmore's really got a match in the dark here. I gotta say,
If Paul, that win I got on Paul left was the last time I fell to Paul. but that was right before he went to pull East versus West.
This is a right-handed match, by the way, not left.
Yeah, I felt him right-handed, and he felt like an immovable wall. Even with his hand took, he felt like an immovable wall. So I just don't see nobody beating Paul for a while. The way he felt then.
Yeah. There is a weight
he's
cap,
different
too,
animal.
so...
What's the weight cap?
Yep. Shit. Damn. I want to say 242, but I'm not 100 on that.
Anybody under 242.
I'm pretty sure it's in his weight class. Yeah.
Yeah, anybody under
242,
242, Paul's gonna have a day with.
Yeah, it seems like, he's because here's the thing, right? And back in July, I mean, you even had Josh Bishop beat Paul Passmore left-handed. Shocked me. I don't know about anybody else, but Josh Bishop here recently has been making some scenes, and he's a very interesting cat. He's a gym owner. He's Justin Bishop's brother. He's a big boy, and it's like I remember having a personal conversation with him when I noticed him at the tournament. I said hello and everything, and he's telling me he ain't trained in like 2 years or whatever. But then he beats. Yeah, I mean, come on now. I mean, he was bullshitting me, obviously.
But I seen him. He was here Saturday with Justin, and
I've heard from his father that he's been making trips up there. Tony Bishop. Yeah, I've heard that Josh Bishop has been training up there with you guys.
Not with us specifically, but
somebody in Tennessee. Somebody in Tennessee.
But I seen him walking around. He was supposed to pull that 220 class. I don't know what happened. I was hoping to get to pull him, but I don't know. Maybe
he probably smelled shit in the water.
Yeah, took his money.
Yeah, he probably smelled shit in the water. Who knows?
Yeah, that's an unfortunate.
But Josh Bishop has the nickname the Hitman, and I gotta say, man, July when he performed, yeah, I was impressed. Because like I remember being at Justin Bishop's house early this year, right? And we're in the front yard of Justin's place, which is very nice. Lovely land that he's living on. He got a pond in the backyard, and yeah, it's hunting ground for deer and stuff for real. I could see that, and he is a deer hunter. But Josh was there, and he was dressed like he was going on a date or something. He was like dressed like Razor Ramon, looking real slick, but he didn't practice at all, and so Josh intrigues me.
Yeah, I seen him. He came to Tennessee and pulled where was it? Paris? No. He came to Tennessee and pulled here recently and got a win on Stephen Hollis, and who else was there? A couple.
Was it that Nirvana? There was that Nirvana-looking dude, Kurt Cobain-looking guy, blonde hair.
Yeah, Stephen Hollis.
But, is that his name? I remember it being something else.
He came down here and he whooped everybody that day. I'm pretty sure.
Because here on the last tournament that I know he pulled a guy that was recorded on the 217 YouTube channel. Left-handed? And he looks like fucking Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, he pulled John Theron. I can't think of his name. I know you're talking about. Yeah, different person.
Yeah.
Stephen Hollis is a big dude. I thought that was his last tournament. He might have pulled one after. I didn't look at, but I thought it was here in Tennessee. He came and pulled, and he did pretty good. He beat everybody.
Yeah. I'm just highlighting these gay ass comments real quick, giving the wise man his little spotlight right here. But I appreciate it nonetheless. There, Sir David Kotlow. Give me a call for the next AWU, motherfucker, because I know my worth. I bet you on that, because like on his group page, right? For example, not just for you, my guest, but for all those watching, close that door. Appreciate it. He created something with the entrance music that I wanted by Crispin Wall, right? I'm an arm wrestling OG fan. I was raised in arm wrestling, or not arm wrestling, but professional wrestling from a kid, and bass fishing. My dad was a fisherman, drywall hanger, etc. But wrestling, love wrestling. But there was a reason why I wanted originally, and that was posted as well on the same group page on Facebook. But there would have been copyright issues, and unfortunately, the promoter is not on Ingen Terzi's level where you can have whatever entrance music you actually wanted, and then when they actually do the footage, you just use a non-copyright music to cover it over with, right? Same thing that Knuckles Up does too, right? I wanted whatever by Our Lady Peace, which was the actual entrance music to Crispin Wall. And it's because of the lyrics. Because when you look at the song, it's great, and especially the lyrics. And it just fit my my energy and what have you in the sport of arm wrestling, for real. Because like I'm gonna tell you right now, with that racist shit that almost destroyed me, like seriously, James Reed, I have his personal cell phone number because this shit got so bad because of one word I said on somebody else's live stream, right? To where November last year, 2023, right? I'm getting called by James Reed, who's the promoter for the Olympia in Florida. And I had plans on going, right? And I was banned from his tournament because of one word I said on a fucking podcast. And I don't believe that should have stood. I don't believe that should have happened because it wasn't arm wrestling related. But it is what it is, right? So, yeah. I mean, even Tim Bresnan said that shit was bullshit. Like, just because of something you say.
I ain't too up to date on the situation. But, hell, man, it's somebody's opinion.
Oh, yeah. That's the power of social media. And that's why, going back to it again, like you and Paul Passmore, y'all got to start making some noises because, like, man, nobody's going to sell you, Y'all got to start contacting and calling the right people. You ever seen that movie? It had Christian Bale and Mark Wahlberg in it, right? It was a boxing, I believe it's called The Warrior or some shit like that. You remember that movie?
Yeah. Christian Bale's like
you remember? Yeah. The mother, right? The mother of those guys, right, would be calling constantly. You could see it in the movie. where she'd be calling promoters, whatever, set up a match for her son, right? You know, something like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to do it ourselves. Now, if you do have a mother or you do have somebody calling around like that, that is nice for the athlete. But for the most part, you got to make them calls yourself. You got to be making the consistent content, you know, etc. You know.
Yeah,
My
that's
next
like
point.
studying the fitness, the fitness algorithms and whatnot. It's all the same shit. Just post yourself, you know, training or
Yeah.
talking, ask a question, or you know. Well,
Yeah.
I'll get there.
Now,
But
one thing I've noticed though, starting from the bottom and now I'm here, and I only have 120 subs, right? I started from the bottom, and when I started, it wasn't in arm wrestling. I was an internet gamer for WWE 2K, right? For 2K19 and 2K22. That's where I got my start at on my YouTube channel, right? And then I grew from there a long way. Because, like, I wasn't even using hashtags, but I knew a lot of people internet wise that I was competing against and in groups and stuff in the wrestling community on these games on the internet while playing on my PS4, right? Well, I've shit, where was I going with this? But anyways, you know, it's just something that you got to do your homework on. Because, like, even when I did start arm wrestling wise with my shorts, and I'll give you a little tip right here, shorts are algorithmic friendly on YouTube and probably, you know, Instagram and TikTok, right? So you're going to get views more so than maybe likes and followers, but it'll build. But one thing I have learned while being an arm wrestler in YouTube and this, that, and the third on social media, it's not until because like the practice shit I post consistently, right? It does get attention, but it's not until I post what I do in the tournaments, right? Because my following has really come from that. And I've learned that like right off the rip, my first tournament. Like I even had people hit me up on Facebook with friend requests that I didn't even know. But because of what I was doing social media wise and how I was sharing my shit at that time, people were they were seeing me, you know.
yeah,
But it's not until you actually do something in a tournament that's where you're going to get your following. And your following should be like fucking 500,000 at least.
well, I could put it like this. That you say that. If I wanted a big match, I could go on either TAA group chat or our practice group chat and just be like, hey, you know, and we could like that. We did it for Landon, and we'd do it for any of the guys on there. In there, if it was a big match, you know, if it's a nationally ranked guy, I got sponsorship. I can go get the match. It's just having the name, having the wins to, you know, for it to make sense.
But shit, I mean, people do their homework. You got it, bro, for real.
Yeah, that part, you know, that's one part of it, and then the social media stuff comes, and then
yep.
Hell, we'll just get it done, man. We'll start videoing the fucking trip. We'll start videoing everything. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the people will think you're bigger than what you are. Is, you know, the goal.
Oh yeah, you got to get personal with it, for real. All right, so my next point here, king of the table, right? Who you got, Jerry or Levon?
Shit, we've talked about this. Damn, my heart wants to go with Jerry. Just looking at the Hermes match and how he pulled with the flop, you know, and the position he was able to put Levon in, I'm thinking Jerry's going to hit right to that spot. He might even drive through it. I don't know. But damn, I'm favoring Jerry on that. I really am.
Yeah.
Just seeing what I've seen from past matches, but Levon's going to be hard to. Shit, I don't know. Pressing through Levon's a feat. I don't know if somebody's going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Maybe Jerry. But we'll see on that one. But I'm going to root for Jerry. I'm going to root for Jerry on that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I feel you there too, but I don't know. I'm kind of like 3-2 Levon, but
Logically, that's how I would
see,
say.
and here's the thing on this top level, right? This is something that really opened my eyes on the top level pullers, right? There was something that Travis Bajan did, like interview wise or whatever, and he made it known that some of his wins over John Brzenk were staged. For real. Like that, the last match they had right-handed in Moldova, was it 2018? That was staged. Now, outside looking in, can you tell that? You know what I'm saying? But Travis Bajan has admitted to a certain side on the inside of the real like top 2% guys or whatever, like them or whatever, the made men in this sport, that they will fix this shit kind of like boxing does. You know, say like Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Get all these pay-per-view buys and this, that, and the third, right? All this money coming in.
It'll spark fandom seeing like an old legend beat a new guy, like a new, top guy.
Yeah.
But
because of
I don't think
promotional reasons, you don't think so?
No, I don't think they do it good. That wouldn't be the one. But I see what you mean. Yeah. You gotta look. How could I say this? American arm wrestlers wouldn't understand something like that. But you go over to like Georgia, over there where Levon's at, and it's a national sport on a fucking huge scale over there. Over here it's not that big of a deal, let's put it like that. But over there, it's a fucking big deal. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
I don't see them fixing. Not at East versus West, nothing like that. When it's personal when it comes to East versus West, you know what I'm saying? I think when you're representing your country, it gets serious. I wouldn't say that stage. Other stages,
yeah. I mean, it would be for me.
Oh yeah, it'd be personal.
Yeah. All right, my next point, and this is the juicy topic in the arm wrestling community here recently. What happened? Beast mode arm wrestling, and we all know about this one. Payouts. I mean, Justin Bishop, Josh Bishop even did a Facebook post, and Josh Bishop's was more entertaining than Justin's. I will say that. I don't know if you've seen that one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Man, somebody had to say something. You know what I mean?
And here's the thing, right? According to the flyer, all the way up to the 4th place finisher was getting paid some amount of money on this event, right? In whatever class, and you play 2nd and 3rd on the left and the right arm. How much money did you get?
I didn't get anything. I was supposed to get $850. I didn't get nothing. They only paid out the first, and I'm pretty sure that was only announced the day of. That day, everybody was like, "Oh, so only first is getting," at first I was like, oh, that's understandable with the entries, but what's came to light is them saying that the pre-registrations were refunded and they weren't. You know, that's what is fucked up, because they could have paid through first, even in the 76s and the 54s, because they were completely bought out. And they could have, but they didn't. And they only paid out to first, and it wasn't even the full amount. But they had the money to. That's the problem I've, pretty much read on and have heard. And LeRae messaged me personally apologizing. He's like, man, I'm sorry, I didn't know. But money aside, I didn't really care about the money. It was the competitors that didn't show up, and nobody said anything. So you do all this training and preparation, and you get there and nobody's there. There was 8 entries, supposed to be 32 entries. That was my biggest thing. It's like, you had a whole year, man, to fill them slots. That's what I was upset about. The money, I'm not an arm wrestler for money. I'll tell you that. But yeah, it's fucked up to learn that they did have the money and just didn't pay out. It went missing. But I don't really know much to be talking about it. But that's my take on it. That's what I got. Showing up to the event, it was day of that they started letting people know, like, only payouts were going to first. I've done lost me.
All right, I'm back. We had a little technical difficulty there.
But as I was saying, yeah, man, I was disappointed with the turnout. I was really looking forward to pulling some number 1 names, and it didn't happen. But it's unfortunate, even more so for the 76 and 54 guys. Their class was completely bought out, Yeah, a lot of big names.
76 into 54, huh?
Yeah, they had full paid pre-registration. I think it's like 6,000 a class or something. Pretty sure.
Wow.
They only paid out so much. I'm not, keen on the details, but pretty much nobody's taking blame from what I get.
Yeah, you got 2 guys, Christopher Griffith, and then you got LeRae Jenkins. The 2 guys who are basically back and forth. But yeah.
If they're going to crawl out of that hole, man, I think they're going to have to pay everybody. They're going to have to send out their payments.
Yeah. Slowly and surely, because
I don't think another promotion.
This is a bad stain on Beast Mode Arm Wrestling for real.
Yeah, there won't be nobody big coming to those events unless, the way the bishops are saying, they're going to have to pay, or they were saying something about litigation, but I don't think nothing like that'll happen. But
yeah,
it's unfortunate, man. It's really unfortunate. I feel for LeRae and them, but it don't add up.
Yeah.
I'm shocked to see
Justin
that.
Bishop said something really interesting because of the level that he's at, right? He said something to the effect that, having these guys pay him beforehand,
Yeah.
Just to
that's
have
what
that
they
security
did.
right there.
That's what they did. And supposedly a lot of the guys that didn't show up that pre-registered, they just gave their money to the cause. That's what I've read. And, they were saying they were getting refunded, but they wasn't getting refunded. So all the money was there for payouts. I don't see where a problem. They just pocketed money. Somebody pocketed money.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Josh Bishop's video that he did earlier today on Facebook was, I gotta agree with it. It's like you either band together and whoop their asses, or you do a lawsuit, you know,
yeah,
or a GoFundMe or whatever on their part.
yeah, because
like he put it in there as like, you know, if you treat, you know, and he was actually talking to the athletes, right? He was like, there's no money in arm wrestling. So if you treat arm wrestling like a hobby, your feelings ain't going to be hurt by this bullshit, right? And he's got a good ass point. It's rough, it's raw, but the way he talked about it and eloquated it, you know, was pretty good. And yeah, I know he's a gym owner and this, that, and the third. So, but he's a clever guy too. And I swear, Josh, the Hitman Bishop, is on the rise in his own way. Because like he's a top puller, and the ironic thing about that is he beat somebody like Paul Passmore, left-handed and what have you, this past July, but he's not ranked. So he's a silent killer. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like he's not on the armfighter.com and ranked. And this is why they call him the Hitman in the group chat on Facebook Messenger, because I'm a part of that with, you know, Justin Bishop, Chase Edmondson. You've come across him a little bit. Colton K. I can't. Was it Kimbro or whatever? Yeah, Kimbro, the little guy, and you got them all. You got Armando, you got Scotty Holloman, Dalton Duncan, you know, and Glenn Brooks is in there, the promoter for the Alabama State Championship tournament, which will be happening again at the same gymnasium as this year. And so they got that set in. It's a nice gymnasium, got a stage and everything. And I'm looking forward to it because this time, left-handed only, I'm going amateur and pro. And goddamn, I seen Glenn shared the results because I couldn't remember, right? The left-handed results of the first, second, and third place winners. And even if I was to drop down to 198, right, bro, it gets worse because then you got Grant Bundy, you got Justin Bishop, and then you got some other cat. You know, it's like, oh my god.
yeah.
But that 220 left is going to be hard. It's going to be hard for me, and I will surprise myself, and I probably ain't going to place. But if I can get one win in the 220 left-handed, I'd be surprised. Yeah. And even Glenn Brooks said that too. Even though I am a left-hander, you know. So we'll see, God willing. We'll see.
We'll probably see you down there. We'll probably be at this year's. We went to the last. We didn't go this year. We went. I actually got it hanging on the wall right there. 2023. So we'll probably be back.
Yeah.
We went to.
Cool. I'll see you there.
We went to a couple years before.
That's the plan, at least.
And it ended up. It ended up taking all day, man. They only ran 2 tables, and my whole group was like, "I don't know if we'll do it again next year." But supposedly they fixed that. Supposedly they're running 3 tables, and yeah, a bigger venue. So we'll see about it.
Well, I can tell you this last one, or this year, they did 2 tables, and one thing is that Glenn and them did not give out their awards after you competed, right? You had to wait till the end, so it was dragged out. I will say that, and the only good thing I got out of waiting that fucking long and doing one class is I got to see Craig Toulier and Paul Passmore, right? Paul Passmore won the overalls again, second time in a row. But it was only because Craig Toulier, who had him on the offense, right, pulled his pec. And that's why in a knuckles up event that he had with Tom Holland, they had to postpone that for a later time.
Yeah, it's gonna take a lot to pin Paul.
Facts.
You'll hurt yourself trying that.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if, and probably so, I'm pretty sure Team Louisiana is going to be showing up again like they did for this last one, because all the Louisiana boys showed up just about for that one. And I think they're going to do it again because they're trying to stop Paul Passmore. He's on a run.
Good luck.
Can Paul Passmore 3 years in a row win the Alabama State? That's the question right there.
I think he's got it in him. He's won it every other time I've seen him.
Yeah. But anyways, I want to thank you for coming on. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off right here and now.
It was a pleasure, man.
I really appreciate you coming on. Yeah. Hopefully any and everybody you know shares this. Shout out to my true fans and subscribers and haters. I love my haters. Oh yeah. It was a pleasure having you on my show, seriously, because you are a diamond in the rough, and it's a shame that you haven't been recognized yet in any way, shape, or fashion, being a top 10 puller in the nation.
It's coming soon. We'll get a big match here soon, and that'll create some headwind. For now, it's just tournaments. Show up, kill everybody, go home, wait for the comments. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Something big's coming up.
Probably so. Probably so. Knuckles Up is like the East versus West in America. So
yeah.
I'd
like to get with one of them promoters and try to make something happen. A good big match.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But
all right, man. Appreciate you coming on.
You have a good one, man.
Yes, sir. You have a good night.
You too.
And that's all, folks. Peace and enjoy.